I am reading from a book written by Rosalind McKnight called Conscious Journeys. And in this part of the book, I thought it was rather important that we hear this now. So I'm just doing a little bit of the book that pertains to how we are part of a mind. Well, you'll just have to listen to it to understand. But I will let you know that she is out of body and reporting back to Monroe what they are putting into her mind, where she is, where her mind is. Her body is in a bed in a laboratory, but she's left her body and she's being told a lot of things that are important for us, I think, nowadays. Now there is much excitement, and I can hear and see the musical color exchange between them. The colors are changing rapidly and are very bright. It's laughter. The colors are so brilliant. I am being told that I have been observing another dimension completely beyond our own. This dimension works strictly on a non-material energy level. Everything is done with pure thought. The light, as well as everything that is created here, is brought about with the thought patterns, with the mind. I am told that I am being shown this because it is what we should be doing on planet Earth. We are not using our thought patterns to the fullest as we should be using them. We are caught up more in the manifestation, the outer, the physical, rather than the process itself, which takes place within each human being. Humans are taught what to think instead of how to think. The mind is an energy machine through which we create. We create our own circumstances. It's being explained that I'm being shown all this as an example of how the energies are used on other planes in different areas of the universe. This is another lesson in the understanding of the energies of consciousness. The scene is starting to fade and I am being taken away. I'm being lifted into the atmosphere and I'm starting to float up. The scene is getting smaller, but it's still very, very bright. Anyway, I'm going to skip on down because that ended that particular out-of-body part, but I wanted to read you that part. Then the next time she goes in to that same level, this is the continuation of when she goes in the next time. The Invisibles call the Earth the emotional universe. In a later session, they contrasted our emotional universe with the mental universe just described. Their way of teaching seems to involve introducing a topic experientially and then returning to the subject again to draw comparisons and contrast for deeper understanding. In the following session, they continued their comparison of the emotional versus mental universes. This is her saying, "It's so warm in the booth today that I was going to ask you to turn off the heat, Bob, but when I thought of asking you to do that, I heard a voice say, 'Turn yourself off.' So I just pictured cool air coming in around me, and it worked." This is Bob. "That's exciting. I'll try that same technique here in the control room. Whose voice did you hear?" "My helpers are with me, and I'm receiving the message that the lesson for today is we can be in control of any aspect of our environment through the mind. To do this, we make the adjustments internally instead of externally. Everyone is a universe in and of itself, and there are memory banks of many universes within the human body. There are no outer universes. The only universes that exist are universes that are perceived from within. Therefore, there are no external universes, only internal ones. Souls exist in what appear to be external universes. These are only illusions. I see pictures of many other galaxies, universes, planets, and stars, and I realize that memory banks of all the outer levels are carried within the human body. History is here, but it is not here. It is in existence only in thought form. Therefore, it is an internal structure. It can be perceived only through an internal process. The earth is here, but it is not here. In the past, it was not in physical form. In the future, it will not be in physical form. It is, in actuality, a creation from the internal structure of all who live upon it at this time. It exists only for those who experience it as existing. It does not exist for those who do not experience its existence. Therefore, it is not real, but a temporary illusion. The maps and patterns of all galaxies and universes are within the soul level of all beings, and the maps differ according to the needs of each individual soul. If our physical bodies are universes in themselves, do they then exist in physical form? No. It is the same principle. Basically, humans are pure energy. Our physical bodies exist only for those who experience their existence. At one point, the physical body was not. The physical body only exists in relationship as it is experienced by the soul that temporarily manifests its existence, and by other humans who perceive it to be so. Because we experience the physical earth, feel the physical body around our being, and observe the other outer planets and galaxies through telescopes, does not mean that this is the reality of existence. It is not. It is only a temporary energy manifestation of the real, which exists strictly within the internal nature of the self. The outer manifestation is created by the internal structures of all souls who must experience this physical illusion for a reason of internal growth. The physical earth is an emotional level for those souls who need this type of physical manifestation for emotional cleansing and growth. All souls who are on the earth experience its existence through their particular need at the time of the experience. However, the earth does not exist for those who do not need to experience it. There are many other levels that do not exist in our internal universes because we do not need to experience them. There will be a point in time when the earth will not exist because it will no longer be needed for the experience. All souls in the body are out who experience the emotional earth level do so out of a special inner need. When that internal need is no longer there, the physical earth will not be experienced, therefore it will no longer exist. The earth is on an emotional level, but there are pure mental levels that other souls create and experience for specific purposes. The earth, then, is the emotional memory bank of those who need to experience it. Other universes and levels of existence are in the memory banks of those who need to experience them. There are not, therefore, numerous lifetimes upon the earth level. A soul exists in reality as a singular light being, and experiences the physical manifestations of the earth level through a projection of its light through its own internal cameras. A soul has many memory banks stored within, and it projects these as an outer manifestation, so that they might be experienced and released from the memory bank after being projected numerous times. When the soul experiences and sees these projections as no longer having validity or importance, then these images simply dissolve because they no longer have any energy attached to them. Therefore, reality is the pure existence of an energy being, not its outer manifestations. Humans that attach to the outer manifestations live an illusionary existence, living in the projected state, and not in the soul's real energies. The real self is the creator and projector of the films. The films projected onto the earth screen are the outer or illusionary experiences that contain the emotional and mental memory banks that exist within each soul level. However, There are many levels of existence to be experienced beyond the emotional and mental levels. Each soul has different films to project from its different memory banks. This is the uniqueness of personality. Each soul writes its own scripts and plays its own roles. Living in the projected state means living always as an observer of life, therefore not being alive. Living in the soul's pure energies means being the actor on your soul's stage of reality. Thus, it is being truly alive in the light, love, and joy of your pure existence. For the sake of understanding, we will deal with only the emotional and mental levels in this lesson, because these are the two that have been experienced by most souls on the earth level. Levels relate to specific aspects of the physical body. Let me illustrate human consciousness as follows. There are 5 dimensions of the human self: physical, etheric substance, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Within each of these bodies there are 7 levels of energy, going from the lower to the higher universes of the self. These would be energy levels number 1 to 7 as follows: base of the spine, productive organs, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown of the head. We will go into greater detail on these in a later lesson, but for now, picture the following. The 5 bodies lay in hand to hand and foot to foot. Draw a circle around the energy centers of all of these 5 bodies. You will have a series of 7 circles ranging from small and restricted in the center or at the lower levels and expanded and all-encompassing at the outer levels. Now picture these encircled areas of the human self as the consciousness levels of existence. The earth plane is the lowest energy level at the very base of the physical map. Fixated at this level, these souls never get off the ground, so to speak. They exist mainly in the basic physical energies. This is the elemental consciousness. This basic existence is important for the soul growth of each individual. It is the foundation on which all outer levels are built. It is grounded in the earth consciousness. It is important to growth if one does not get stuck at this level. The next circle around, or the next movie projected upon the earth screen, will come from the large circular perspective. These are the energies of reproduction, flow, and creativity. And the next circle of experience on the earth screen is the solar plexus level. This is when the self begins to take on a stronger identity and starts to assert its ego or power. This is where greater self-expression begins to take place. Then we move into the heart level of energy. This is the level of emotions where the soul begins to experience more on the feeling level and moves into the experience of relationships, or the we consciousness. The throat and the energies of the third eye are mental energies, where the self gets into greater control of its own existence through the mental channels. This moves into the higher levels of spirituality. The crown of the head is symbolic of the coming back into the source, into the oneness of existence, and therefore it is the outer circle that encompasses all other levels. It is the coming together of all into one. The emotional self takes in the solar plexus and heart energies, and the mental dimension of self occurs in the throat and energies of the third eye. Let's look at these more closely. I was taken into a universe of higher energies in an earlier session. I was given a glimpse of souls that exist in the pure mental levels of existence. They want us to examine more carefully what this universe represents. I'll go back into that experience. I can see beings sitting around what seems to be a round table with a type of ball in the middle. The ball is lighted. I don't hear words, but I can hear sounds. They are looking at the ball, but nothing is being said. There seems to be a lot of energy in the air. I get a feeling of very heightened awareness. Strong vibrations are taking place, and it is all on a mental level. And I will continue this with a second video.